Jessica Radcliffe's final dive. The day the sea turned silent. The ocean doesn't always roar when it claims a life. Sometimes, it just goes quiet. That day, as the waves rolled gently under the gray sky, something beneath the surface was watching, something Jessica Radcliffe never expected. What began as another ordinary dive would soon become a moment the world would never forget. The moment when the sea turned silent. Jessica Radcliffe had spent nearly half her life in the water. To her, the ocean wasn't just a workplace, it was home. She had trained countless times with killer whales, trusting their intelligence, grace, and loyalty. Audiences loved her, the fearless woman who danced with giants of the deep. But what most people never saw, was the quiet bond between Jessica and one orca she called Kairo. Kairo wasn't like the others. He was larger, older, with scars across his fin that told stories of battles deep in the wild. To Jessica, he wasn't a performer, he was a friend. And every dive with him felt like a conversation without words. But the sea, no matter how familiar, always keeps its secrets. And on that one overcast morning, when the wind was calm and the crowd was unusually silent, Jessica's connection to the ocean would be tested in a way she could never imagine. The show began like every other. Music echoed across the marine park, and the audience cheered as Jessica stepped onto the platform, wetsuit glistening under the soft morning light. Kairo surfaced beside her, his black and white body cutting through the water like living art. The bond between them was undeniable, years of trust reflected in every movement. Jessica smiled, took a breath, and dove gracefully into the pool. Bubbles swirled around her as she reached out, touching Kairo's smooth skin. He responded with a gentle spin, circling her playfully. It was a routine they had performed hundreds of times, a dance between human and orca, between confidence and nature's power. But today, something felt different. The crowd's cheers slowly dimmed, replaced by a quiet hum of confusion. Kairo wasn't responding to Jessica's usual cues. He dove deeper than he should have, turning slowly in the shadows below. Jessica followed, trusting him as she always had. For a moment, all she could hear was the rhythmic pulse of her own heartbeat and the soft echoes of the water. Then, in the dim blue silence, Kairo turned, his eye meeting hers. There was no aggression. No warning. Only, something unrecognizable. The sea, calm just seconds ago, shifted. A sudden splash. A wave rippled across the surface. Jessica's partner, the orca she had called family, had vanished beneath the water with her. Above the surface, trainers shouted. The audience gasped. Seconds turned into minutes, minutes into panic. No one knew what had happened beneath those waves. Beneath the water's shimmering surface, time seemed to slow. Jessica tried to steady herself, to understand Kairo's sudden change. She reached out once more, her hand trembling, touching his fin like she'd done 1,000 times before. But Kairo didn't move away. Instead, he hovered, motionless, his massive body blocking her path to the surface. Her air was running out. Through the mask, her eyes pleaded, "Kairo, please." Above, the crowd waited for a resurfacing that never came. Trainers threw emergency signals, divers prepared. But the ocean was silent, hauntingly silent. Then, a deep rumble echoed from below. Like a sound the sea itself didn't want to release. Kairo lifted her, gently, pushing her upward, closer to the light. It wasn't an attack, it was something else. Something no one could fully explain. Jessica broke the surface for a single breath, one last, desperate gasp of life. The trainers pulled her toward the edge, but her eyes were still searching the water. As if she was trying to tell them something. Don't blame him. Moments later, the orca disappeared into the deep, leaving behind a silence that stretched far beyond the tank. Far beyond that day. In the days that followed, the world couldn't stop talking about what happened to Jessica Radcliffe. Headlines called it a tragedy, an accident, a betrayal. But those who knew her, those who had seen her work, her kindness, her faith in these creatures, they believed something else. Jessica never saw orcas as monsters. She saw them as souls, powerful, misunderstood, and chained by a world that never truly listened. And maybe, just maybe, in those final seconds underwater, she didn't feel fear. She felt sorrow, not for herself, but for Kairo. For the freedom he once had, for the silence that now surrounded him. The ocean remained quiet for weeks. No more shows, no more music. Only the faint echo of waves hitting the tank, like the heartbeat of something broken. Today, divers still visit the site where Jessica's final dive took place. They say when the water is still enough, you can hear the sound of a distant exhale. Like an orca surfacing somewhere far, far away. A reminder that the sea never forgets. And neither should we. Because the ocean doesn't always roar when it claims a life. Sometimes, it just goes silent.